Before we get this review started, just look at how Mercedes-Benz starts us off. Look at this. I know it's low light, everything else, but look at that. Open her up. Got the emblem projected out there. You got the headlights doing their little thing. I don't know if you can see it up there. Mercedes-Benz does it different, folks.
What's going on, guys? Car Review Guys here. My name is AJ, and we are back this week with a 2023 Mercedes-Benz AMG EQE. It's fast, it's luxurious, it's hitting a lot of marks, full EV. Obviously, we're gonna get into some of the stats and figures in just a moment. For those of you that don't know, we are chasing 20,000 subscribers. We're over 18,000 and some change right now. We're trying to do it before the end of the year. I thank each and every one of you that joined me on this journey. Now, let's start with the exterior, going over some of these stats, figures, work our way to the interior, and then we're gonna take it on a drive. Let's roll. This 2023 AMG EQE, the battery, and you guys know I usually start underneath the hood, but obviously that's not the placement since it's EV, but nonetheless, it's rated at 617 horsepower normally, but if you give it boost/dynamic mode, you're looking at 677 horsepower. Now, with the boost/dynamic, you're also looking at 738 pound-feet of torque, and if you're just in normal, it is 701 pound-feet of torque. The range is rated for 225 miles. It has 170 kilowatt DC fast charging. You can charge this AMG EQE from 10% to 100% on level 2, 240 volt in 9.5 hours, or level 3, 170 kilowatts in 30 minutes, which is incredible. The drivetrain is all-wheel drive, aka 4MATIC, and the curb weight is coming in at 5,534 pounds, pushing this AMG EQE from 0 to 60 in about 3.2 seconds. Suspension is, of course, AMG ride control, and with the addition of air suspension. It also has on the rear axle rear steering, which is not only for performance but a tighter turning radius. The price on this AMG EQE starts at the exclusive trim of $106,900, and then there is one more trim level, which is the Pinnacle, and that is going to be around the $109 mark. The tester today does have a lot of options. We are at $130,240. Some of those options are obviously the carbon ceramic brakes, which you may be able to see right here in the front, which is a $5,400 option. They are 17.4 inches, so they are quite large. The other thing is it does have massaging seats, which we'll get into on the interior, and a bunch of other things like the blacked out trim and various other things as far as air conditioning and the HEPA filtration and all kinds of other stuff. So let's touch on the dimensions really quick. So this is actually not a very small vehicle, so it's 16.5 feet long, and it's also pretty girthy from the rear. You are looking at 6.4 feet in width. Touching on the warranty very quickly, we have a 4-year, 50,000 mile bumper to bumper, and on the battery, it is a 10-year, 155,000 mile high voltage battery. You also get 2 years of complimentary maintenance. All right, let's take a look really quick from the outside. So you're gonna notice here, digital light. I don't know if you can read that. It is a little bit small and I'm getting a lot of reflection right now, but it is fully digital lights. I will do a short on my channel of what that looks like at night. It is absolutely insane. Really, really cool feature, and they are so good at night. Now, continuing on, there is no frunk, unfortunately. Maybe in the future, we'll see. For the fronts, you have 265, 35, 21s, and just look at the size of those 17.4-inch rotors, carbon ceramics. Again, it's only on the front. So if we look at the backs really quick, just your typical disc brake back here, which is interesting. I've never seen that on any other vehicle. Not to say that it's not out there, it's just from what I have seen. Now in the rear, you're looking at 295, 30, 21s. So it is definitely a girthy tire in the rear. You're also going to notice on the door handles, they are flush mounted and you can pop them out as you approach the vehicle. Up here is for your window washer fluid. That is where you fill it. You just simply touch it and it'll pop out. Throw it in there and you're good to go. You're going to notice on the mirror, you've got the camera there for your full 360, which to me, best in the industry, to be 100% honest with you. We'll get a look at that on the interior. Coming on around to the rear, again, I just think this is a pretty good looking vehicle. The lines are clean. In order to pop the rear hatch or trunk, whatever you would like to call it, simply press in on the top of the Mercedes-Benz emblem. You have a decent amount of space back here. This, of course, is a charger for the vehicle. And if you would like to pop the seats down, they do have buttons for that, which is a nice feature. To close it, simply press right there, and down it goes. All right, if you are new to my channel, I am 5'9". I test getting in every single vehicle. Is it easier, is it not? Let's start with the rear. So the seat is sloped like crazy, like my butt is at an angle like this basically. So I don't know if you can see, my legs are up a decent amount. And if I show it here, I don't know if it's really gonna show up on camera, get this center rest. You can kind of see it right there, it's pretty sloped. So I noticed that when getting in. As far as headroom goes, I don't know, I mean, obviously I'm touching my hat. I would say about 1.5 inches, 2 inches, somewhere in there. My seat is where I drive, and there is, I would say, at least 10 inches there. So a lot of leg room as far as that goes. Hey, don't even worry about my white legs, all right? We're not talking about those pasty things. Let's keep moving on here. We have the option of a rear heated seat. That is an option. It is on this tester. And then you do have a dual zone climate even here in the rear. So technically it's a quad zone, right? Because 2 here, 2 up there. So you got quad. And it's really nice. Up above us, we do have the panoramic roof. You can see it up there, hopefully. And this has the optional Alcantara headliner, which is also super nice. Makes it feel that much better. Now, Mercedes-Benz, this is pretty typical nowadays. You press it 1 click, spot for your phone.
How may I help you?
And then, I'm talking to it, whoops. Anyway, you half press it again and out it pops. Stepping into the front, let's check it out here. Very, very natural, very easy to get into the front. No issues at all. The rear's pretty easy as well. Just a pretty drastic slope bucket. I don't know what you want to call it. Anyway, let's check out this front seat here. Over here on the driver's door, obviously we've got the Burmeister, and then you've got heated seats, cooled seats, and you can move them in literally any direction you could ever want in a seat, obviously. That's Mercedes-Benz. Coming over to the steering wheel, if you're familiar with Mercedes-Benz, anything newer, it's very straightforward. It's pretty much all the same. Obviously the AMG does have these little items here, which control your mode. And then over here, your exhaust, which for this is just piped in noise basically that you can control. You have your drive selector up there, and then let's turn this thing on so you can see the starting features here, what it looks like. Cool little sounds, everything else. Shut this. Out in front of us, hopefully you can see a massive heads-up display. You obviously have the ambient lighting everywhere, including up here. I don't know if you can see it right now, maybe a little bit. Coming on down, we have again, if you're familiar with it, anything in the MB, I'm gonna call it, because if I say the full thing, she's gonna start talking to me. So let's keep going. So again, this has the extra filtration, which is an option. It has the fragrance added to it as well. Also, as mentioned, it has you have so many different options for the massaging seat, which is great. Very good massaging seats. Like, if you've never been in one, it'll change you. It'll change you. I'm not gonna lie. It is so nice. You have a bunch of different options and stuff. You do have some apps up here. You can play some different games. Sudoku, as you can see there. A lot of options you can do. And the maps are so crystal clean and clear. I love that you can have it on both. There's a bunch of different options over here you can go through. Let's see. Let's do Super Sport. Check that out. There's your display. There's a bunch of different ones. We're not going to go through all of them. See, track pace. Pretty cool. You've got all your G-forces over here. Brake pedal at 37%. A little harder. I can let go. 0. Anyway, pretty cool. A lot of stuff behind it. You're going to notice these paddles. That is for your brake regeneration. You can make that stronger or less, whatever you want. Moving on down, you've got 2 cup holders tucked back there. Not the best design, being 100% honest, is the wireless phone charger, because especially if you have this out, you can hardly get back there. I mean, you can very clearly see that, but nonetheless, you have to have it somewhere, and that's where they put it. Maybe one day they could, make that a little bit better, but not a big deal. Still has it. And then down here, there's a ton of space. For me, I'd rather my phone charger be down there. It's super easy to get down there. Center console splits in the middle, and that's going to hold probably about 2, maybe 3 tissue boxes. Actually pretty big. It's deep. It's smaller on the dimensions though. The glove box is super discreet. You can't even hardly tell that it's there. A decent amount of room. There's a button right there in order to press it. And I mean, as I said, you can't even tell there is one really from even here until you come down there. Looks good, functional, love it. The seats are very comfortable. As you can see, it says AMG on there, and you can even see the leather crest on there, as I would call it. I don't know what you would call it. And they're really comfortable. They're supportive, obviously genuine leather. They're soft, but yet firm. They have good enough bolsters. I like it. Check out how detailed that camera is. Hopefully it comes across. Obviously, camera to camera, it's going to be less impressive than what it is in person. But it's so good, guys. You really got to trust me here. It is so, so good. Okay. And as luxurious as this interior is, and I won't say that it doesn't shine, because it certainly does, but it's time to get this thing on the road, because to me, it just makes it that much more special the way this thing drives. Thoroughly, thoroughly impressed. Let's roll. Right off the bat, testing the rear wheel steering, the radius is super tight. Super tight. It takes about 2 lanes in order to do a complete circle. That's pretty impressive if you ask me. For those of you that are not new to the channel, you already know that I generally try to start out with a 0 to 60. Not scientific, okay? I do just an everyday punch it 0 to 60. I'm not gonna try to get 100 different attempts. I'm not gonna try to get the fastest. We don't do that. We just want an everyday 0 to 60, oh, I'm at a light. Okay, I need to take off. Let's go. So we have this thing ready to roll. We are in Sport Plus. Are you ready? In 3, 2, 1, go. 60. It's so crazy. Oh man. For those of you that have never been in an EV, it is something else. Obviously, I've been in several now at this point. From trucks to other cars. EVs are always insane with the amount of just pound-feet of torque and just how instantaneous the power is. It's never gonna come across on camera. It never will. I remember watching, I've watched a bunch of different vehicles, like the P100D whenever it came out, right, for Tesla. You see it and you're like, I mean, I know it's fast on paper, right? Like you can see the 0 to 60, but the feeling as to which, like it's insane. I'm telling you, like the blood like rushes like backwards. Like it's pretty wild. So enough is enough. I would definitely strongly recommend go even get a ride in one so you can understand. There's positives and negatives still about EVs at this current point in time. One of the huge positives is how quick they are. Insane. Now we're going to drop her right back down into comfort, which is where I primarily find myself in. You can obviously go into individual mode if you would like and change everything exactly how you would like it. I just like comfort. I mean, because if I need to go, if I slam it to the floor, it's gone. Like it's just going. But it does normal acceleration. Otherwise, it's just comfortable. Listen, I guarantee you couldn't hear that because I couldn't. Here's two more. That's how good the sound quality is in this car. Like it is so ridiculously quiet. Like one more example for you guys. I have to get this point driven through. Here comes a cattle guard. Not only is that quiet, insanely quiet for that, also the suspension, ridiculous. It is so smooth in comfort, and it's so drastically different when you put it in Sport Plus. When I put that in Sport Plus and go across that, like, it feels like you're legit almost in, like, anything. A Corvette, I mean, anything you could name that has a crazy stiff suspension. My Acura NSX that I had for a while, like, Audi R8s, anything. Stiff. Comfort, boom. All of a sudden, we're in a freaking Maybach. As already stated, you're looking at around 225 miles of range, and to me, that's pretty impressive. I mean, I think they could maybe improve it just a little bit based on some of the other cars in the industry. I know, you know, Lucid is out there. Lucid, and I did work at Lucid for a while, full disclaimer. I was in their supply chain department. It's an incredible car, don't get me wrong. However, with any new vehicle launching, they're not proven like Mercedes is, right? So you gotta figure out what's good for you. In my opinion, I personally would pick this every day over a Lucid. Just personally, I think the interiors are just amazing in these compared to the Lucid. Ride quality, I don't know. I've never driven a Lucid, so I'm not going to speak and pretend that I do. I have sat in one and messed with the interiors because I was responsible for all of the interior components on that car. It's nice. It's not a Mercedes-Benz. I just being honest with you. So again, the reason I'm touching on that is the range. The Lucid does beat it in range, but I would pick this every day of the week. Again, even this car pretty much fully loaded, $130,000. No, it's not cheap. Yes, that's pretty expensive. I think you're getting a lot for your money though. I'm being honest. I'm not just saying that. Like, if I had the money for this to be an everyday driver, this would be one of the top contenders on the EV portion for me. Like, I've had the EQS from Mercedes. Very nice, love it. Doesn't have the performance this car has, in my humble opinion. I just think this thing is insane. Other comfort or creature comforts, if you will, you have active steering, which is your lane centering, stays center all the time. Has adaptive cruise control, probably doesn't surprise you. And it does really well. It's up there with the best in the industry, always stays dead center of the lane. Obviously, again, always keep your hands on the wheel. But if you're getting a drink of water or whatever, it's always good to have it there. It's also nice to not have fatigue over a long drive. It's nice. I really do like it. I don't think this car really is missing anything. I don't think I have any. Okay, I can come up with one thing, and I think it should be standard just for the price, is the digital rear view mirror. Not a big deal. I just think it's kind of weird that, you know, you got GMCs that are like 60 grand and it's standard, but on this, like, it's just an option. So I don't know, kind of weird to me that that's not the case. So anyway, other than that, I can't come up with anything else on this car. Like, it is that good for an EV, 100%. to think on a level 3 charger, right? You can go from 10% to 100% in a half hour. Now, I know, again, cons, right? It's not as fast as just filling up your tank at a gas station, but it's leaps and bounds where we were even several years ago. Like, it's pretty impressive. I mean, it's only going to get better from here. Again, for those of you that don't know, I'm not a huge EV person, so don't watch this video and go, oh, he just loves EVs. Nope, I don't own one, right? I'm saying this genuinely, like, as genuine as I can be. I'm always a genuine guy. I'm not ever gonna, you know, steer you the wrong way, tell you the pros, I'm gonna tell you the cons, and for what this vehicle is, it's really good. Really good, I'm so impressed. I think we've covered just about everything in this AMG EQE. If there's anything you want to know, comment down below. I try to respond to every single person. If you want to join the journey, try to get me to that 20,000, I appreciate it. Please like, please subscribe, and as always, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.